Welcome to Around Kitsap. This is an interesting program we have today. I'm going to introduce you to a couple gals that, one of which I've known for quite a long time, and the other is I've just got the privilege of meeting today. The story we're about to hear is a story of newfound friendships and of the ultimate gift of life, a donation of an organ. And I'm welcoming today to the show my good friend Kara Cleveland. Kara is a teacher at Olympic High School. I guess we'll kind of go backwards. She's a teacher at Olympic High School.
The alt schools now.
What's it called?
At the alternative schools now.
You're
actually.
at the alternative school. Well, there you go. I didn't know that part. But I've known Kara since she was 5 years old, when her and my son Ben walked into Esquire Hills Elementary to begin school. So I've known Kara for a very long time. We've been in very close contact, and Kara's also the one who introduced my wonderful son to his fabulous wife. So we've got this great, great history, Kara and I. And so my daughter-in-law says to me, well, guess what Kara's doing? And when I heard, it was like, well, of course she is. That doesn't surprise me at all. Sitting next to me is Sharina Mosher, and Sharina is a Kitsap gal. She went to Emerald Heights Elementary. She went to Ridgetop Junior High. She went to CK High School, and then began her college life, which was kind of stopped a little while, just a little sidetracked for a little bit of a medical situation that we're going to hear about. So
yes,
as I get this long introduction done, welcome to the show. And
thanks for
first
having
of
us.
all,
Yeah.
and thank you so much for your willingness to share. When I approached Kara with the idea, I said, bounce it off Sharina, and if you're willing, I'd love to share the story with Kitsap, because it really is a great story. So Sharina, we're going to start with you. Sharina does have a history of kidney problems, kidney issues in her family, and that's what we're talking about, is the donation. Kara gave Sharina a kidney. So Sharina, tell us about the history of kidney disease in your family.
Well, it all started with my mother. And in 1978, when she was 16 years old, she had end-stage renal disease. It was called glomerulonephritis. And so she was living in Ontario, Canada. And a blood type match for her happened to be her sister, so she was really lucky for that. They put my aunt through, extensive psychological testing, and one thing led to another, and she was able to donate to my mom. She's been going for 33 years now, so that's just basically unprecedented.
Yeah,
so that's pretty,
really. Wow, that's
pretty
fabulous.
great. So I think they assumed that she might pass on some kind of issue to me. So what happened was, I was just doing a routine check with the pediatrician when I was about 5 years old, and they noticed that I had a protein leak, and I was spilling protein through the urine, which is, a symptom of renal disease. So I was referred to the Children's Hospital in Seattle, and I had been going there, till I was about 12 years old.
Twice a year?
Twice a year, yeah, every 6 months. So it was very frequent. And so they started out with a biopsy, and they could see that I had minimal change disease, which wasn't too concerning. I just, protein leak. It didn't affect the kidney functioning at all. They just wanted to keep an eye on me. And they alerted me, you'll never go through what your mom went through, no dialysis, no transplant. So I wasn't concerned. I lived a very, conventional childhood.
Yep.
Ran like all the other kids, ate whatever I wanted, and just lived my life. And it was pretty much like that till I was 23 years old, and then it all took off from there.
It all took off from there. And the story of Sharina becomes a UW student, enrolls in their medical program,
right,
goes there, and
yeah. So I see a new doctor, Dr. Jefferson,
and what's the doctor's title? What is he?
He's
a doctor?
a nephrologist.
Nephrologist. That's the kidney function doctor.
Right. So I met with him, and he ran some tests. It had probably been a few years since I'd seen my last nephrologist. I guess I should probably mention that. And he ran some tests, and he called me back about 2 weeks later. I just met the guy, mind you, too. And he says, I need to let you know that your kidneys are functioning at 40%. I mean, this is like getting hit by a truck.
Amen.
I was basically 100% before that. Like I'd said, the previous disease didn't kind of exhibit any kidney depreciation at all. So he says, I'd like to do another biopsy and see what's going on a cellular level. I'm kind of thinking you have something else called FSGS, which stands for focal segmental glomerular sclerosis. So I go in for that test, and sure enough, it's all there. And he says, you know, I really hate to tell you this, but it seems that, you know, this disease has disguised itself as something else, and it's now really aggressive, and it was slow, and now it's, you know, we don't know what's going to happen, and you might need to think ahead and prepare yourself for either dialysis or transplant sort of thing. So.
Wow. So
Yeah.
at what, how old were you then?
23.
She's 20,
Yeah.
you were 23. How old, you're just 24 now?
Yeah.
You're not even?
Yeah, I turned 24 May.
Wow.
So.
So this was all boom, 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 really,
Right.
really quick and pretty devastating. Dialysis is a very tough option. Very, what do we say? It's kind of, doesn't let you really
Yeah.
leave. You have to kind of be scheduled on dialysis, and you're like,
Yeah.
you're close to the base.
Right, right. So, you know, things had progressed, and it got to the point where, you know, they thought, well, we need to do dialysis. You know, we want to keep you healthy, and we don't know when the transplant's going to be. So I did the dialysis, and, you know, my life revolved around it.
You did start that process.
But unfortunately, I only had to do it for a month. So,
Wow.
because this lovely lady came along and saved my life.
Right.
But,
right.
you know, it was definitely a challenge. It was easy to do when I could see the end in sight. You know,
Exactly.
I was lucky that I didn't have to do it for 4 years, like a lot of people have to do it. So, but it was definitely life altering.
So the news is hard, and the family your family pretty much jumps into action. And Sharina's aunt said, we got to cast this big net. We need a good, healthy match kidney.
Right.
So
right.
she sends out a email
Yeah.
and encourages others to please forward.
Yeah.
And go ahead.
That's where we started, pretty much. You know, I was just explaining to Kara that it was probably only a week and a half, 2 weeks that we, you know, stretched out to our family, because my family is all across the country. I didn't have a lot of young people in my life, and they had this target age of under 35 for me because I'm young, and they wanted this kidney to last. So we knew that we just had to draft up this email, and my aunt wrote it from her perspective because she was a donor for my mom.
Cool.
So that was really imperative to have her write the email. So she, you know, I forwarded it on to a lot of people, and it reached, I gave it to my coworker, Gina, who then gave it to Kara's brother, Kyle, and that's the next chapter.
And that's the next chapter. So, Kara. Kara's brother, Kyle, very gregarious, very very fun, very family-oriented. Kara's got a huge family.
Yeah.
And so Kara gets this email.
Yeah.
And
it was pretty crazy. I got an email from her aunt saying, "Hi, this is my name, this is my story, you know, and I have a niece that needs a kidney, and please let her live like I let my sister live," you know, essentially. And it was just so moving to me that, why can't I do this? Of course I can do it, you know. So I get this email, and at the bottom of the email is a conversation back and forth from my brother and Gina, Sharina's coworker, that was just, "Oh, bummer, I have the wrong blood type. Oh, my wife has the wrong blood type." And she just kept on saying, "I know that we'll find a donor. There's someone out there, we know it." And they said, "Okay, we need an O blood type." And as I read that, that's it, it's me, I'm doing this, you know. And it was so crazy to feel like at that moment that I know 6 months from now I'm gonna have one less kidney, you know. It's just crazy.
you knew it you were that confident.
That day I knew it. I read it and I said, this is my purpose, I'm doing this. So weird. So then I had to convince the rest of my family. It was the right thing to do.
So let's go there a little bit, Kara. Kara's married to Shane. They have 2 beautiful babies. Kara also has parents and siblings and Grammies and Grampies and aunts and uncles.
Right.
And granted, it's her choice. And like I think her husband would say, you know, Kara's going to do what she wants to do.
That just cracked me up.
This is Kara, you know, she's a pretty strong-willed gal.
Right.
And pretty much knows what she wants. And when you told your family,
They weren't surprised, which was amazing, but I didn't tell them until I had spent a day on the internet reading as much as I could about kidney transplants and FSGS and what life without a kidney transplant would mean for Sharina, you know. And I had never met her, but that still didn't mean that I couldn't relate to the thought that maybe she couldn't have babies someday, or the thought that she wouldn't be able to live a full life, and that just broke my heart, you know. And knowing that, you know, being in that mommy stage where you just want to create life and give life and all that. I mean, that's just so embedded in me right now that I just felt the need to, okay, that's just one more step. You know, I'm not having another kid, but I'm giving somebody else the chance to do something like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And after I said that to my family's like, oh, of course.
Well, of course.
Of course, yeah, you know. Sure, what can we do to help you? You know, how can we help? So.
Yeah, well, of
lucky.
course, they need to be close by and support you, and you were
Right.
going to be in the hospital, and that's a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother thing. So, Kara, you started the process of the blood tests and all that way before you even met Sharina.
Right.
Tell us a little bit about that.
So to begin with, I called the U and said, I am looking to be a kidney donor to Sharina. And they sent me some paperwork, and I had to fill out this like 12-page packet on family history
Right.
and, you know, my current lifestyle and why I want to do this, and just trying to get a bunch of background. And in that, I needed to send a copy of a physical, so I went to my doctor, and she was all for it and was excited that I thought I could do something like this, you know. And then I had to go get blood pressure readings and just do a million things, you know. And all the while, I just kept on running into people saying, oh my gosh, this is amazing, good for you, you know, we're really proud of you, how can we support you? And nobody once ever said you're crazy, you know, which
Yeah.
was amazing to me,
Right,
you know.
right.
Because I was waiting for that. I was waiting for someone to say, what are you doing?
What are you
kidding me?
doing, girl?
But everybody was just patting me on the back and helping me through it. And, you know, to this day, I still say that I didn't donate this kidney myself. I mean, my family, this community helped me do it. And it's just such an outpouring of how we live, you know.
Yeah. Well, I think it's very important to note that you did your due diligence, Kara, and you
Yeah,
really
I did.
investigated what was going to happen to you and your body,
Right.
and how this is going to affect the rest of your family.
Right.
Because it is a major, major surgery.
It is. It's a
And-
big deal, and you know, I'm not ready to be done being a mom yet. I still want to have more
Heck.
kids. I still want to, you know, do all that stuff. And so, to me, the very beginning, you know, was, can I have kids after donating a kidney? And
Oh, yeah.
from
Yeah.
the beginning, it was, yeah, absolutely. People have
Absolutely.
one kidney all the time and have kids. You know, no big deal.
Yeah, people give their kidneys all the time.
Well, no, people
Well,
are
it's-
born with one kidney, and
People
have
are
a-
born
yeah.
with one
Yeah,
kidney.
yeah.
That's
Right.
yeah, very important, very important. We're going to take a break and talk about the process and what these gals went through and their stay at the University of Washington and where they're at now and what's going on. Stay with us. We'll be right back around Kitsap. Welcome back to Around Kitsap. I'm with Sharina Mosier and Kara Cleveland, and we're talking about the story of kidney donation and the gift of life. And Kara has donated one of her kidneys to Sharina, and you can see their shirts. Sharina says +1 and Kara says -1, and that's the surgery date, 6/1/2001. But let's go back a little bit where we left off. Kara was going through the process at the U to get lots of screening done, lots of background. How about like mentally? Did the psychiatrist talk to you or a
Yeah.
social worker or something?
It was a
and
social worker.
find
They
out?
have a donation advocate that comes in, this lady named Paige, and she's amazing. And you know, from the beginning was just, what can I do to help you? And I want to talk to you about making sure you're comfortable doing this and you know exactly what's going to happen. You know, and it was so nice. And they did a full psychological workup and
Yeah.
asked me all kinds of crazy questions. Like,
Yeah.
I laughed when they asked if I was irritable. Oh my gosh.
Aren't we all?
Hello, yeah, if you push my buttons, get out
yeah.
of my
Two
way.
toddlers and I teach high school math.
Yeah, teach high school math.
Yeah.
And at this time, Sharina, lots of people were going through this process, correct? Or doing the blood match? Or
Yeah, there were a few, so I think that's why it took us a while to actually meet up. Like you had said, there was so much going on, and we're all caught up in it all.
Right. So the process is December, the email comes out. Kara says, I'm into this, I'm checking this out. Kara gets some blood work done, goes
Yeah.
through the process. Now it's January?
Yeah, probably. I think I called the U like the 15th of December or so, and then by January, mid-January, I got an email from them back saying, "Are you still interested? We'd like you to come in." So yeah, I mean, it was a little while. It was long enough to really think about it and know that, yeah, I'm still really excited about doing this.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
For a bit.
So is that when they do the CTA scan?
That's my second visit.
That was the second visit. So after the initial visit with the U, is that when you contacted Sharina and said, "Wow, I think I'm up"?
I think, no, I had contacted her before I even made a trip over there. I just sent in all my paperwork and had all of this information.
You had
to
kept
them.
me, and she kept me informed every step of the way. I never had to ask her. She'd always shoot me a text message or anything, so that was really...
So we talked on the phone a little bit and text back and forth, but then as soon as I knew I had an appointment date, we called and said, "Okay, that's it. We finally have to meet."
We got to meet because I'm giving you something. I'm giving you something.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that first meeting,
Oh,
and you know, nerves, and Sharina's meeting potentially her kidney donor, and you know, Kara's kind of she's really hard to talk to, isn't she? She's just
so difficult.
So you managed to go. We're going to meet at a restaurant. I'm bringing my dad. Unfortunately, your mom couldn't make it, but so how was that whole thing? Was it like, God, I hope I like her?
Well, I met her the first time at this coffee
we
shop.
met by ourselves
so
first.
Her brother was, you know, dropping the kids off to go to the school, and I was chatting with him, and I said, "Okay, so we're going to meet at the Global Bean, and you know, what does she look like?" And he's like, "Oh, just look in the mirror, look for yourself." And I'm thinking, "Oh my gosh, like, this is insane. Could this get any more uncanny, you know?" So I'm thinking, okay, look for the dark hair, whatever. So I go there, and she's sitting there. I'm always the later one. I think weren't you
No,
there
I
first?
was. No, you were there first that time.
I'm usually always the later one. Okay, I
You
guess
were
I was
there.
there. So
Yeah.
you came walking in, and I was.
so
I mean, I'm
weird.
thinking, what do you say? You're thinking you kind of have to win this person over to some degree.
Yeah,
You want
what
them to
am I-
naturally like you. You want to be
Right.
yourself, and how do you act? And it's you know, I've never been there before. It's uncharted for me. So luckily, just right off the bat, she's so outgoing, and it was really easy to talk to her. And I felt like we talked about so much, even outside of the
was
donut. We were
crazy.
there for 3 hours.
It was really crazy. And when we got there, we sat down. It was just, I was nervous even in the
I'm
beginning.
sure.
And then, and I left thinking, "Oh my gosh, why
This is
haven't we
so
been
right.
friends before?
Yeah.
Oh,
You
I
know,
know. Yeah. I know.
why weren't we friends before this? She's
Right.
amazing, and I just want to be a part of her life."
And
Yeah.
there were
Yeah.
hardly any degrees of separation. You
No.
know? I mean, I had been to their house 2 years prior for a Halloween party with Gina, the coworker, and I mean,
And we'd met.
and what a
yeah.
Halloween party that is! Isn't that a fun
oh,
one?
it's a real
Historical in
blast.
this county.
Yeah.
Historical. Very fun.
Yeah.
Very fun times. So you meet, and then the more serious process starts. Of course, Sharina has a history already with the UW. They have all her records. They know her inside, up, and down. Kara goes through an extreme screening process now where they're really looking at that kidney,
Oh my
and
gosh, yeah.
they know what it's going to look like. And
Yeah, I went, how many? I think I did 4 visits before the surgery, and the first one was just every kind of scan you can get, EKG, just everything. You know, they did X-rays and all kinds of crazy stuff, just trying to make sure that first I had 2 kidneys.
yeah, right,
Exactly.
And make
would
sure
know.
that I was healthy, and they wanted to check, you know, my heart. They wanted to check everything, making sure I was psychologically ready for this.
Exactly.
And that you weren't getting paid.
Yeah, and then I wasn't getting paid. Oh my gosh, they asked me like 5 times, "Is anybody paying for this?"
Oh,
It
no
has to
kidding.
be altruistic, you know.
Oh,
and-
no kidding.
Yeah.
Because there is, I'm sure, a
I
market
guess there's a
out
market,
there where people
yeah.
sell their organs.
Yeah, I had to sign like 3 different papers saying I wasn't getting paid for my kidney. Nope, it was
No,
free.
I'm not getting any money, but I'm
Yeah.
sure getting paid another
Yeah,
way.
right,
A lot of
exactly.
joy.
Yeah,
A lot of
yeah,
friends.
yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yep. So,
So-
all those appointments went, and without a hitch. I mean, it was just
Yeah,
everyone was
yeah.
perfect. Oh, you're perfect. You're perfect. You're perfect. So
Unbelievable.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
then the announcement comes that there's a date,
Oh my gosh.
and it's June 1st,
That was
2001. Tell
the
that.
other crazy thing. I got that notice on my birthday.
Oh
On my birthday.
What a great
It was
present.
the best
And your
present.
birthday is what day?
May 3rd. So she, you know, sends me an email. I call her on the phone, and they've set the date. So
Yeah.
and that was big because at any point they can pull the cord on all of this, you know.
Exactly.
You
Yeah.
know, depending on how they feel about it, or just if everything. She had to be in mint condition.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
Root
Healthier than me.
canal, all of a sudden
Yeah.
you got an infection.
No,
Exactly.
and it's done. So she had to be much healthier than the general population to even be considered, you know.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
yeah, I got that call, and that was another moment of reassurance for me and divine intervention again, because I mean, for that to happen on my
There's
birthday.
a date.
Yeah.
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 And it's my birthday.
Yeah.
Happy
Right.
birthday to me.
Yeah.
I'm getting a
Right.
kidney.
Right.
Right.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. So let's fast forward 3 to 4 weeks, and it's June 1st, 2001, which is like 2 months ago,
Right.
2.5 months ago. And so Kara goes through she's in the prep, she's getting ready for surgery a lot sooner than you, Sharina.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
So, you know, I'm just kind of sitting there in the waiting room. I'm having to anticipate, you know, she gets taken back before me. And then finally I get taken back into the pre-op, and I get to see her for only like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And
it
then
was
she
so
gets
brief.
wheeled
And then
away.
off she goes.
Yeah.
And I was nervous because she's in the traditional, you know, surgery garb. She's got the hat on. She's on
Big
the
old
drugs.
mark on my shirt.
You know, and
where I'm supposed to be.
you know,
Right.
it was so quick, and it was almost a blur. We just had to, I think we just embraced each other, said that we loved each other, and that I think I said, I hope to see you on the other side, or something to that effect, you know. And then she was gone, and
Oh yeah.
2 separate surgery rooms. Kara's in one room, you're in another room. There's glass. So they're working on Kara, actually removing the kidney, making sure, wow, this thing really looks good.
Right.
It's functioning really well
Yeah.
before they even do anything to
yeah, I think you were back there for probably, what, an hour?
Maybe
before
more. I
was-
don't know. Yeah.
I remember laying there.
I was out.
Yeah,
you
in
were
the
gone.
pre-op, and they said, we need to get Sharina back there. Kara is ready to go. She's under and everything. And to hear that, too, you know.
you. Like, oh,
Yeah, you're just hoping everything goes well. And
Wow.
I think at that point, we just knew that everything was going to be
everything
okay.
was just
Yeah.
going to be fine.
So,
So how long did the surgery take? What did the doctor say?
Well, it was like 5 to 6 hours, but we got bumped. We were one of the lucky few people that ever get bumped because a cadaver donor. So two
Yeah.
other
Came in
people
for
got their
some-
miracles that day too.
Right.
Yeah.
right.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
that was
Sharina's
pretty
surgeon was
unbelievable.
tied up doing
Doing.
the other one, and so we got bumped and were pushed back. So our surgery lasted longer,
Right.
Because he was still
Okay.
finishing up with the other person who got their miracle the same day we did.
Well, isn't that a
that's
nice
so
thing?
rare.
yeah,
Yeah, but-
yeah,
Yeah,
How
it was
wonderful.
awesome.
Right.
Great.
Yeah.
Sure, I'll wait.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
we didn't care.
Sure, we'll
It's
wait.
still happening.
Go
Yeah.
ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
I'm getting a little hungry though, I bet.
Oh my gosh,
Oh,
it
yeah,
was
for
so
you.
Yeah, there's-
long before we
oh,
ate.
Oh.
It's like 2.5 days.
Oh, no.
So
for you, yeah.
that was June 1st.
Yeah.
And how long was the hospital stay?
We went in on a Wednesday. I stayed till Sunday.
And I left on Saturday. Yeah,
A little bit sore.
a little bit. Yeah,
It's a
but
major
it was like
surgery, but yeah.
any mom who's ever had a C-section knows exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah. But they wanted us up and walking
Sure,
you know,
oh
right
yeah.
away. And
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. So here we are in August, middle of August. We're taping this early August. And how's everything going?
So
everybody
normal. Yeah, it's crazy. We were talking the other day about how it's kind of unfortunate we don't feel bad anymore because we missed the excuse for being lazy.
Oh, my gosh.
Kara,
yeah.
of course, couldn't lift her children for many weeks.
Yeah, for 5
and,
weeks.
And they're little ones, and they like mommy, and they want mommy. Pick me up, mommy.
Yeah.
Hold me.
Yeah.
And so there was and
But we
Ainsley,
got creative, yeah.
Ainsley, your little, is she almost 4?
Yeah, she's almost 4.
She's so proud, I'm sure. My mommy gives
is.
a kidney, and the whole
Oh,
story
so
is
loving.
just
She tells people about it. Yeah, she asks people how many
Awesome.
kidneys they have.
I mean, what little kid knows that? It's just so wonderful.
Yeah.
So, Sharina, what's your plan? What's going on with you?
It's night and day how I feel now. I mean, I was so fatigued before. I feel like a new person, all due to you. And I now am going back to school at the U in the fall, and I'm moving here in just a few days back to Seattle and starting my life again. And, you know, I just feel so normal, no dialysis.
Nice.
Yeah, and I really just want to mention, like, I am so grateful for how outgoing you've been and how open-minded you've been, and you know, I just my life would be at a
Yeah.
standstill if not for you directly. So that's pretty amazing, and I want to mention how supportive her family's been. Like even
Very nice.
You know, at one point her mom said to me, "We're happy you're doing this too," and that just what? Who are these people? There's something going on with this
Who are
family,
these
you know. I mean, they're all
Yeah.
all so outgoing and such happy,
Very-
positive people, and I'm so
Right.
excited to have them, you know,
In your
as
life.
a part of my life.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's just we
It's-
forged a bond and a friendship that
Yeah.
unlike anybody else's. And forever.
Yeah.
What a great story. And Kara, I'm so proud of you.
Oh,
I
thank you.
always say that to her. She's
Thank
just a
you.
very cool gal. And Sharina, so nice to meet
Oh,
you.
nice to meet you too.
Really
Yeah.
great story. I hope you've enjoyed the story of the kidney donation and the new friendship between Kara and Sharina. And we wish you the best, girl. Off
thanks.
she goes to get her degree, live a normal life of a 23, 24-year-old, and go get them. Go
Thanks,
get them, that's what we say.
Yeah.
Kara, thanks for
Thank
all
you.
your work with kids. You're awesome. Thanks for joining us around Kitsap. We've shared a great story today. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.